Tell me about you. What's your background? What brought you here? Why are you here today? You know, why did you create P.A.R.K?
Why did I create P.A.R.K? From the loss of my daughter, Debbie.
Sure.
She died from oxycodone. She was given oxycodone at Sarasota Memorial after surgery, and it ruptured her heart, and she died.
At Sarasota?
Not at Sarasota. That's where she first got oxycodone, was due to surgery. And prior to that, for 13 years, she had been in a horrific car crash, and every bone in her body was broken. She died twice. She was in a nursing home for 3 years. Her body was made up of mesh and steel rods. And she fought. She started to walk again, even though they said that she wouldn't. And she started to be on pain medications just simply because of the injuries that she had. They were so severe. But she managed them beautifully. I mean, she fought every single day to get by with the minimum of what she was taking. It wasn't until the last 9 months of her life that she had a heart attack, a stroke, and uterine cancer all within 9 months. And it wasn't until she went in for the hysterectomy that she was given oxycodone. And the oxycodone caused, 2 or 3 months down the road, caused her heart to rupture. And her death certificate says death due to oxycodone.
Where did she die, ma'am?
Here. Well, actually, she actually died in Raleigh, North Carolina. She had just gone back there, and she left here at night, and she was dead the next morning.
Sure. Tell me about you. You said you owned a financial group?
Great Life.
Okay.
And for 21 years, I was in the finance business, and then when Debbie died, I got rid of it. And a doctor here in town, we were having lunch one day, and he said, you know, he said, you are in a good position to make a film. And I said, what about? And he said, prescription drug abuse. And I said, well, you know, I don't know anything about prescription drug abuse. I said, I don't know anything about an epidemic. But I said, Debbie just died. We're finishing this other film, and I'm running the company. I said, there's no way. I went home that day and opened a mailbox, and there was Debbie's death certificate saying she had died of oxycodone. And there were 2 deaths within 2 hours of the same drug. So I went back to him, and I said, you know, if you will teach me what I need to know about the medication side of it, I will research and find out if, in fact, we have an epidemic. And so the way this started, and I'll give you some visual here so that you can see it. This was actually Debbie on December 1st, 13 years ago. This was the car accident that she was in.
What was her date of death?
Her date of death was March 2nd, 2011. And so I created this poster, which is the one that you see behind me here, and I called it Oxycodone Prescription for Death. And I wrote a letter that simply says, if you've been affected by this epidemic and you'd like to share your story, please contact me. And I put an email address down there. Problem was I didn't have any email places to send it out. So I went to companies like BB&T, Salvation Army, Goodwill, Healthy Start, First Step, and I asked them if they would send out my letter attached to their letterhead asking people to share their story. Thousands of letters went out in 1 week, and we had hundreds of letters that came back within 4 days. And so we knew that the epidemic was there, and so P.A.R.K was founded in June of 2011, about 10 weeks after Debbie died. And these are examples of the letters that we get. This is Rachel. She was at Riverview. She got addicted to Oxy. She went to the street. This is her picture while she was in jail. And she came out and she killed herself. So,
what does P.A.R.K do now? What are your programs?
Our mission statement is threefold. The first part of it is make people aware of what we do at P.A.R.K. The second is education to the general public about the epidemic. You know, we're not out there to badmouth doctors or to tell people they shouldn't take these drugs. What we're trying to do is to say, if in fact you are injured, let's say that both of you left and you were in a car accident, and all of a sudden they're starting to give you Oxy. If you haven't been educated, you're going to give, you'll get 120 to 200 of them at one time to be told, you know, they're going to tell you to take them with the way they're written. Take 3 a day or whatever it might be. Well, the type of drug that it is, when you start taking the first one, that starts the chain of events. So if you are educated on what these drugs do, and the doctor wants to give them to you, now you can make a decision. Yes, you'll take them, or no, you won't.
Sure. How do you bring, what's the third part, your third program?
The third part is accountability to the pharmaceutical companies and to the medical field as a whole.
Sure. Okay, what are your programs? What do you do?
We have a complete program that is a chapter program that we just introduced nationally in December to a school system in Nebraska. And it is a complete turnkey program where you as an organization or a school or whatever it might be can take this program and duplicate what P.A.R.K has already done. And there are videos, there are PowerPoints, scripts, everything that you need to be able to go out and educate the public, including candlelight visual flyers and letters of endorsements that we have from national companies.
Which school district is using this?
In Nebraska, North Platte school system.
And they're using this program?
Yes. We went to the University of Miami and met with Donna Shalala and with her representatives. And they liked the program so well that they made it mandatory that their students in the freshman class come through our class.
So this program is in use at the University of Miami?
As our lecture, we came out and lectured to them.
Oh, okay.
They don't have the chapter program. We didn't even have it available at the time that we were out there. It's brand new. Again, the same thing with these stories that we get from all these people. The Teehees, their son was murdered.
Sure.
The stories just go on. And P.A.R.K really deals more with the death side of this epidemic than they do the recovery. We're not involved with recovery. We're not involved with counseling or anything like that. We are there for people to have a place to go when they've lost someone. That's one part of it. The second part is that any organizations or groups that want us to come out and speak and lecture on this, we have all the literature. We've designed everything so that people have visuals as well as the story behind it. And Debbie has been the inspiration, if you will, for P.A.R.K even starting.
Sure.
And that's really what we do on a day-to-day basis.
So you have these and you go out and speak?
Yes, this is a complete chapter program here.
Okay.
Everything you need for education is in here that we've already created and done. All kinds of research, all the letters of recommendations, you know, from judges, banks.
How would a school use these letters of recommendation?
Well, what it does, it really gives us credibility. When you go out and you look at the people that are involved with P.A.R.K and find it important.
Okay.
You know, the county coroner allowed us to go in and film in the county coroner's
I get
ward.
that, but how would the schools use these letters? How would what would the students get out of these, if this is a lesson plan, so to speak?
Well, when the students look at these letters coming from power images, if you will, again, it gives them credibility that from a large level, people are seeing that there is a problem. It's just one more thing to emphasize it. The letters that we get from families are where the real key comes in for teenagers.
Sure.
But you want to remember, we cover all age groups. So it's not just teens that we're dealing with. We're dealing with babies that are being born addicted. We're dealing with adults, seniors. So when you get into the adult world, that's where these letters really come into play.
Okay.
Right.
You're a medical doctor?
No.
What's your doctorate in?
My doctorate is, actually the doctorate came from a TV show that I did. I've actually gone through a graduate type school, if you will, but it was one of those where you can go online and you can get your doctorate. I have a nursing degree, but I don't have a doctorate as far as a psychological doctor is concerned.
Well, you refer to yourself as doctor. You're
Yeah.
a doctor on your website. What is your doctorate in?
My doctorate is in business as far as the certificate is concerned, but the actual doctorate came from a television show when I had a television show for 3 years. That's where it came into.
Where'd you get your doctorate? What school?
It's right there if you'd like to take a picture. Strasbourg University.
Isn't that a diploma mill?
Could be.
What do you mean it could be?
Well, they had my grade scores for my schools and everything else when I got this, so I guess you could say that it is. I don't know.
I'm confused.
I've never looked at it as being a pill mill because I worked
No,
in
no, no,
medicine.
diploma mill, not a pill mill.
Oh, yeah, I meant diploma. No.
Did you attend classes and take tests and everything for the doctorate, or
No.
you sent them a check, or what?
Didn't send them a check either.
So you didn't have to pay any money for
No,
that?
we
They
did
just
not.
gave it to you?
They gave it to me. It's
Okay.
almost like an honorary doctorate.
Well, it doesn't say honorary on it.
No, it doesn't.
And you're referring to yourself as
Wait a
doctor.
minute.
I'm
Let me
just
ask-
confused.
Let me ask you something. Why are we going this route when you're here about the film?
I'm here about the film. I'll get to the film, but before I get to the film, I'd like to talk about you and your background. Some people have raised some questions about your doctorate.
Really?
I'd like to talk to you about that.
Well,
You don't want to talk about
I
that?
don't want to talk about that. We were here to talk about the film.
And we will talk about the film. Tell me about the film.
Well, the film has been 1.5 years in the making, and again, it is what P.A.R.K is all about. It's to educate the general public about this epidemic. And this is where our focus should be,
Sure.
is on the film and the works that P.A.R.K does, not on who I am as far as school is concerned. I'd be happy to
Well,
do
you're
that
asking
with
people.
you.
You are asking people for money. You're asking people for donations. They should know that they should be able to trust you. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the allegations from the
Okay,
SEC.
Let's cut the film right now. And we'll discuss
You don't want to
what we
discuss the
Not-
SEC allegations that were made against you in
Take that
2007?
off.